Alright. This is gonna be part 2 to what if Deku had solo leveling. Because a lot of people wanted it. But yeah. So, I left it off like they were at the, little area. And, a few people are kind of shocked that, like, Deku pretty much took down Baku and Kaminari. And I might just say, like, every 4 years they get their rank reevaluated to, like, see if they got any higher. So pretty much Bakugo and Kaminari are both an A rank and a B rank. That Bakugo's an A rank, Kaminari's a B rank. Azuku's still an E rank. That's how am I just going to do it? Quite a few people are kind of just shocked, like, wait, he did that? Like, what the hell? I'm going to say because, Froppy, because she's the most confident, I guess, or, I don't know what it's called. Most confronting, I guess, I don't know. She's like, ribbit, Azuku. How did you do that? And he looks at it Froppy like, huh? So how'd you, defeat Baku and, Denki? He's like, oh, it was easy. Then, he just doesn't say anything else. And everyone's kind of like, that's not the answer we wanted, but okay then. And they kind of just leave him alone. But so everyone else does their fights. And yeah, pretty much all end up the same. And I think I'm going to end it off here. I'm just kidding. Nah. Yeah. So, they all go back and stuff, but I'm going to say like a few days later, Aizawa comes in and says, okay, everyone, we're going to be going on a field trip. We have been given special permission to attend a C rank. We have been given special permission to take down a C rank dungeon. Everyone's like, woo, yeah. A few people kind of scared, like, Jiro or Mineta, Hogakure, and a voice kind of dude. But yeah, they're all kind of scared because their quirks aren't really suited to take down dungeons, I guess. But yeah. So a few people, like, they're getting onto the bus and, they hero costumes, like, they're in a line right now. Like, they're waiting to get onto the bus, Ida said they had to get into a line. Even Aizawa said they had to get into a line, but yeah. And pretty much Deku just walked straight past them, like, going onto the bus. And Aizawa said, hey, Azuku, you're not allowed on yet. Deku just kind of looks at Aizawa, activates Bloodlust, and says, why am I not allowed on? And, Aizawa's like, never mind. So, he deactivates and says, thanks. But, so he just kind of sits up, gets a window seat, has one of his shadows sit beside him. But, everyone else was getting on the bus. Like, a few people wanted to sit beside him, like Kaminari, Kirishima, I don't know, even some of the girls, because they think he's cute, I don't know. But yeah, so, and then eventually, her, because I know her name, but I don't want to pronounce it, because I'm afraid I might, I'm gonna mess it up. I'm gonna just call her C, because her first name starts with a C. So, C, like, kind of just there, like, Deku looks like, she says, may I please sit beside you? It's like, okay then, why? The shadow kind of just goes back into Izuku's. She sits down and says, oh, you don't stink. And Deku's kind of like, I might need more context. She says, oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense. He says, well, everyone, I can pretty much smell your power, pretty much. And the stronger you are, the more it stinks. But for some reason, you don't stink at all. He says, oh, okay then. And, he kind of just starts looking out the window again, like, every type of animation and protagonist, I guess. You know, then she kind of starts looking at him like, wait, why is he different? Like, he took down Bakugo and Kaminari, and like, I'm gonna say she asked for the tapes, like she wanted to watch it, and she saw what he did. She clearly sees that he had magical power. Like, she's kind of like wondering like, why is he different? But yeah. So, you know, they get there eventually, and Aizawa goes up to a dude and says, okay, my name's Shoto Aizawa, we have been given special permission to enter this dungeon. And he kind of looks at the clipboard like, oh, yes, okay, you may go in. You know, Aizawa says, okay, everyone, calm down and just go in calmly. So, you know, they go in. Like, as soon as, like, the last person comes in, I'm gonna say it was, like, Tokiyami or something, I don't know. Like, the gate turns red, and, you know, it becomes the kind of false gate. And, you know, like, everyone's kind of panicking, like, where'd the thing go? Where'd the thing go? Where is it? Shoto, you know, as I was like, damn it. Like, everyone just stay calm. Stay calm, everyone. I don't know. You know, like, as soon as, and as I was just like, everything's gonna be fine. Just calm down. And as soon as he finished that sentence, 2 arrows are launched at, Hagakure and Mineta. You know, the two strongest people get the arrows. You know, Azuku, he caught it, and, C, you know, she pretty much sliced the arrow in half, stopping it. You know, Azuku kind of smiles a little bit and says, ice elves, huh? And he says, maybe I should give this back to them. So, you know, he pretty much, like, throws it. You know, pretty much, like, goes through, like, a bunch of trees. But it doesn't hit the elf. It pretty much just goes through a bunch of trees. Everyone's like, what the hell? And Azuku's like, damn it, I missed. You know, Aizawa says, okay then, this seems to be an A-rank dungeon with those type of enemies. Aizawa says, okay everyone, we need to stick together. This seems to be more than just a C rank. The gate seemed to hide its magical power. Everyone's like, what? This is an A rank? Azuku's like, okay. And he just kind of starts walking into the forest. And Aizawa's like, damn it, Azuku! Yeah, he's like, and Aizawa's like, damn it, just follow him. So then they start walking through the forest and stuff. They, you know, a few people start noticing the bear claw scratches. And then eventually, Aizawa says, Azuku, can't you see this is ice bear territory? And Azuku says, like, you know, so calmly, exactly, if this is ice bear territory, there's nothing more dangerous than an ice bear. As I was like, but they're still strong. And pretty much as soon as he says that, an ice bear comes out of nowhere. Everyone kind of stops, you know, Aizawa gets on guard. You know, but Azuku just keeps walking forwards. You know, what looks like happened, like, the ice bear swipes, and, like, trying to swipe at Azuku. He kind of just blurs, and, like, you know, now he's above the ice bear. He pretty much used, like, sprint and stuff to, like, pretty much just jump up and stuff. You know, he comes down and punches the ice bear's head into the ground. And, you know, pretty much killing it. I was like, what? Like, he just killed an ice bear with his bare hands. What the hell? But, you know, few people are kind of, like, shocked and stuff. And then Azuki says, free food. So, you know, he kind of just, like, gets out one of his daggers and starts cutting up the ice bear, getting rid of the skin, you know. I'm really going to describe it, or I'm going to say yes, food now. But, yeah. And, you know, they continue walking for a while. You know, they finally find a suitable camping spot. They get everything set up, like a fire, the food, and a good source of water, pretty much the essentials. But yeah, so and Deku says to Aizawa, I need to go do a pee. I need to pee. Aizawa says, oh, okay, just go over there. And Deku lied. So he's pretty much walking through the forest and stuff. And then he finds, like, he's killing a few ice bears on the way, resurrecting them, I guess, getting their shadows. And, so pretty much, he eventually gets to the ice bear thing, the main ice bear thing. He finds, like, Tank, or soon to be Tank, a few smaller ones, and, a few smaller ones. But yeah, Izuku smiles and says, okay, let's do this. He gets out Icarus and the other knights. A few ice bears that he got in the way. Yeah, so I'm gonna say like 30 minutes later, it's a bloodbath. A few of the ice bears are dead. Like, some stabbed in the eyes and through the head. Some got like the legs cut off, decapitated then. But yeah, it's just a massacre, mate. But yeah, so now Izuku's coming back. He has a bit of food. He has like all the shadows now. But yeah, so he comes back, and as I was like, I'm saying he was gone for an hour. I was like, as I was like, damn it, Izuku, where'd you go? He says, I got some food. He kind of just throws like pretty much like a week's worth of food in front of Aizawa, like for everyone. I was like, good job. This is when like they kind of feel like clock, I don't know, horse sounds, I guess. Insert horse sounds. Izuku looks over. They see the ice elves. They're talking to each other like, huh, looks like we found the trash. Then they look at Izuku and it's like, oh, looks like there's one good one. This is when Izuku says, who you calling trash? And the ice elf's like, huh? Looks like he can understand us then. He says, very well, my name is Big Ice Elf, because I don't actually remember his name. I'm pretty sure it started with a B, but I'm not sure. So, he says, my name is this. And he says, one of my soldiers wanted to fight you. He points out at the person beside him. And then Izuku kind of disappears, cuts off the dude's head, and, reappears in front of the ice elf. He says, now what? And the big ice elf kind of smiles and says, okay then, looks like you want to fight. But it's my army against you. Izuku says, your army versus me. Then his shadow kind of expands, all the shadows start coming out, Icarus, big ass polar bears, or ice bears, I guess, knights, little polar bears. And he says, it's my army versus your army. And Deku just says, go. And his knights and stuff start rushing, they're pretty much killing every ice elf in sight. Students are getting traumatized. Not really traumatized, but shocked. They kind of realize that entering a dungeon they would have to kill things. But yeah, Izuku's pretty much being desensitized, I guess. Like, this doesn't bother him at all. But yeah. Damn it, something stuck in my throat. That's great. But yeah. So like eventually all the ice elves are killed, or pretty much most of them are. Actually, no, I'm not going to say that. So while everyone's getting killed, the big ice elf says, "Huh, looks like, so you want to fight me then?" Lucas says, "Yes." I don't know. The big ice elf dude kind of brings out his dagger. He says, "Fine then." And he rushes the dude, like trying to cut into him, but the dude dodges. He swings at Izuku. Izuku dodges. This is pretty much how most of the fight goes. They send an attack, the other dude dodges. Then eventually, they get into they lock daggers, I guess. Kind of hitting each other with the daggers. They send each other backwards. And after, this is pretty much when most of the ice elves are destroyed. Pretty much just the weaklings are left. And Izuku gets Icarus beside him. And he says, "Icarus, help me with this. Help me with this guy." Icarus nods his head. They rush him. Icarus is, trying to, pretty much I don't know, pretty much just cutting up the dude. Pretty much shallow cuts due to his armor and stuff. Izuku's pretty much just stopping him from attacking Icarus. Pretty much taking his attention. And eventually Icarus cuts off one of his arms. And the guy screams in pain. He's like, "Ah, damn it!" He looks back at what was his ice elf army. He's like, "Damn it, damn it, damn it! I will not be defeated by you." Actually, I will not be defeated by you. Yeah, that's probably better. Yeah, that's better. So, he rushes at Izuku for one last time. Izuku pretty much uses sprint and critical and vital strike and stabs him in the eye, getting to his brain. He flops to the ground. And this is when, as I says, this when, the battle's over. The portal opens. And Aizawa says, "Okay, everyone, let's go through the portal before it closes." This is when Izuku starts saying, "Arise. Arise." Attempt number 2 failed. "Arise." And the big guy just refused to be arised. Oh wait, yeah. I just kind of thought of a little something, and it wouldn't be the past tense of arise, be aroused. Oh god, I'm just not going to think about that again. Anyway, once all the students are through the portal, pretty much Deku just looks at the other ice elf army and says, "Fine then, arise." Most of the shadows start coming up. It's like, at least you guys wanted to come. They go back into his shadow and stuff, and he walks out a few seconds after them. The head guy and kind of in charge says "Excuse me, what happened in there? Did you defeat the boss?" Aizawa says, "We defeated the boss, but I didn't do it." Says, "Then who did?" He points at Izuku kind of angry because he couldn't get the big ice elf dude, but he got his dagger though. So he's kind of kicking the ground kicking the ground and as I was the dude's "What, really him?" Says, "Yeah, he somehow defeated them all. I'm not going to say how, but he just did." But yeah. So, they kind of get that dealt with, The students go back onto the bus. Deku's sitting on the window again. C sitting next to him. Alright, sorry for that. I just had to do something quickly. So this either might just be, I might have to edit this into the other video, or it might just be a 2.5, so, yeah. So, they're on the bus. You know, that C sitting next to Deku, you know, the C, cause I can't pronounce her name. But yeah, you know, you know, she's kind of looking at him weirdly, like, why can't I smell him or something? You know, Deku notices this, and you know, he says like, why are you looking at me like that? She says, I'm just confused. Why can't I smell you? Like, you don't smell like anything, really. He says, isn't that good? I don't stink. You know, she's like, I guess so. But yeah. So, you know, but yeah, I just thought I'd do that. I don't know. But yeah, so, you know, they go back and stuff. And Kaminari wanting to be, I don't know, prove his strength. Like, they're in the dorms now. Kaminari taps Izuku on the shoulder, like, hey, Izuku, can we do a rematch? He's like, What do you mean rematch? He says, well, you took me on at the Heroes vs. Villains quite easily, and I want a rematch against you. And he's like, okay then. So, you know, they walk out to the field, like a battleground, and, you know, like, a few students came to watch, because why not? And, you know, Kaminari says, okay then, let's fight. You know, a new quest appears on the screen that says, defeat Kaminari Denki, otherwise your heart will stop. He's like, fuck. Like, not kill him, just defeat him. And before that, Kaminari says, wait, no, none of those shadow things, they're weird. And Deku just nods his head. But, you know, when they see start, Kaminari starts, you know, like, electrifying himself, I guess. Like, you know, like, just pretty much a lightning cloak, I guess, I would just call it that. But, you know, and, you know, he tries to rush at Izuku, but Izuku just uses stealth, you know, hides. Like, well, not really hides, but just moves out, like, gets out of his line of sight. And Kaminari's like, wait, where'd you go? He says, fight me. And, you know, Izuku just appears behind him. You know, he says, I'm right here. You know, punches Kaminari in the back. You know, he's sent flying into a wall. You know, he's in the wall, like, kind of like groaning, like, my back. And, you know, Deku walks up to him and says, admit defeat. And Kaminari says, yeah, sure. And, you know, and it says, quest complete. It says, claim your reward. And, you know, the reward is called Rune of Lightning. Well, not Rune of Lightning, but, like, Rune Stone of Lightning. He's like, huh? The stone, once crushing the stone, gives the effect of white lightning to all weapons, including summons. He's like, okay, then that seems useful. So, you know, he crushes the rock runestone, pulls out one of his daggers and kind of points it forwards. And, you know, lightning bolt kind of comes out of it. He's like, oh yeah. Like, yeah, this is cool. But yeah, I did that because someone said that I should probably give him a different ability, which I agree with. But yeah. So, you know. But yeah. So, you know, time for USG. So I'm gonna say like a week and a few days later. So I'm gonna say that was on like a Wednesday or something. Now it's a Monday. Aizawa comes into class and says, okay everyone, we're gonna be going on another field trip. It was like, woo, yeah. What is it? He says, well, we're going to be going to the USJ. Everyone's like, huh, what's that? And he says, unforeseen simulations joints. We're preparing you for natural disasters just in case they strike. Everyone's like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. So now they all get in their hero costumes. And they get into the bus. And, you know, Izuku's sitting there. You know, she's sitting beside him again. 'Cause it's the ship. But yeah. So he kind of just looks at her and says, "Why do you always sit beside me?" She's like, I'm just confused. And he says, "No, you already know why you can't. Like, you've already tested out once. Is it just because you're interested in me?" And she kind of blushed, like, And he says, "Okay, then looks like I got my answer." And she's kind of like, But yeah. She's kind of just silent for the rest of the thing, not even looking at Azuku. But yeah. Because I'm pretty sure that's how he did it in solo leveling. But yeah. So, they get to the USJ. Azuku's not really focusing because he doesn't really care. 13's doing a speech like, oh yeah, quirks can be dangerous and stuff, they can hurt people. Some people are understanding, like, Bakugo is not like, how can explosions be dangerous? Like, the least dangerous thing here. But yeah. So, then Azuku kind of, like, finally senses it. The bloodlust coming from, down there. Down at the stairs. And, like, he kind of just, like, he talks to Aizawa and says, "Hey, Mr. Aizawa, is that supposed to be there?" Aizawa looks down, he sees nothing, he's like, "What do you mean?" And as soon as he says that, like, the portal opens. And he's like, "Oh, what? What the hell?" He looks, he sees the villains coming out, he's like, "Damn it." But, so he starts rushing down. He says, "13, protect the students." And, so, he's running down there. And, like, so, he's running down, and some of the Zuku's shadows decide, like, Zuku sent some of his shadows to fight with Aizawa. And I was like, that's cool, got some backup. And, pretty much, Icarus pretty much swings his blade and kind of points it towards some of the, villains, and, he shoots lightning bolts at it. And, but yeah. But yeah, so, they're doing all that, but, eventually Kirigiri teleports, the students somewhere else. So, Azuku's on the boat with Sui and Minato. They kind of, those two are kind of panicking, like, Ribbit, what do we do, Ribbit? And it's like, I'm too young to die. But yeah. So, and, they're trying to think of a plan. Azuku's thinking. He's like, oh yeah, that'll work. So then he starts explaining the plans, like, Sui wraps her tongue around Azuku. Azuku kind of throws her, and she kind of swings Azuku up, and then he throws her again. Kind of something like that. It's probably not actually possible, but I don't care, it's a what if. Plot. Yeah, that's the big reason it's happening, plot. But yeah. And, like, so they end up doing the plan. They're swinging, and they eventually get to, the other side. Azuku sent some of the few knights that he had remaining, like, into the water to deal with, villains. But yeah. So, they kind of just sitting there. Then Shigaraki notices them. Deku's kind of, like, looking like he sees his shadows getting destroyed by the Nomu. Like, even Icarus and Tank and stuff. He's like, damn it. And, like, He's kind of confused. But yeah. So, he's watching, he's like, damn it, there's no reason to keep wasting my mana. So, he, recalls all of his shadows, like, but Shigaraki's about to touch Asu's face. Then this is when Deku realizes, like, damn it. So he kind of uses sprint and, to try and, he grabs Shigaraki's wrist. He's like, don't touch her. Wait, don't touch her. And Shigaraki's like, what are you going to do about it? And kind of being like a kid, like, what are you going to do about it, huh? This when Izuku cuts off his hand, he's like, that. And he throws him back at Kirigiri. He's like, my hand. Nermi, kill that bastard. Nermi kind of like looks up for a second, looks at Izuku, and pretty much charges at him. He's running. Then, like, he hits Izuku. Like, Izuku wasn't expecting it to do much. It hits him. And, like, Izuku gets, like, kind of slides on the ground a little bit. It's like, looks like we finally got someone where he's good enough to fight. So he rushes at the Noma and punches it. It does nothing. He keeps trying to punch it. He's like, damn it. I guess I'll use the blades then. So, like, he gets out the snake blade and, the ice elf blade, because this thing doesn't really have any armor. So, he's cutting into it, paralysis and, bleed is taking effect, but it says, like, thing stats too high. But, he's cutting off arms and stuff, but he realized they're regenerating. So, he kind of like, damn it, what can I do? I'm just increasing my fatigue, and I'm doing nothing to it. But, he sees a little thing pop up above it, and it says, body able to be resurrected. He's like, what? He kind of looks around, like, tries to look behind it. It's like, wait, is that thing dead? He's like, I might as well give it a try, I guess. So, he says, arise. And, the Nomu, like, the shadow stuff kind of starts coming off it. And, like, a perfect kind of copy, except just a little bit bigger beside it now. And, like, all the scars in it are, like, blue, and, its eyes are blue and stuff. Even its beak is blue. But, yeah. And it's just like, looks like it worked. And, it says Elite Warrior. It's like, damn, haven't seen that before. But, and, like, I'm gonna say, like, pretty much what Deku arises when he uses it is their consciousness, not them. Like, because think about it, when he talked to Icarus before he arised him, I guess, he kind of had to talk, encourage him. So he kind of, encouraged Icarus to come with him, but he was dead. So it's pretty much their consciousness, I guess. So he kind of arises the Nomu's consciousness. It looks exactly the same. But, the Nomu kind of like paused for a second. Now it snaps out of it, and like, because he's being controlled, not like that, he doesn't choose to do that. It rushes at Deku and like punches him again. It's like, what? I thought Shigaraki starts laughing like, it only listens to me. It's not even controlling itself. It's like, damn it. He says like, new guy. He's like, new guy, help me. Then Nomu pretty much punches the other one. It pretty much does nothing. Like, it flinches a little bit, but not really anything else. And they start. It starts doing that 7-page Muda to the other Nomu. It pretty much was doing what All Might and the other one and the Nomu were doing. And this is pretty much happening. Izuku's fatigue is pretty high. But yeah. And he gets Icarus out and he says, okay, we have to help the new guy defeat that. And he says, okay, this is the plan, we're going to go behind it and stuff. So they just go over the plan, pretty much. And they pretty much use stealth, Igris's speed to get around the Nomu without it noticing. They go behind it. Igris pretty much using white lightning with his normal sword right now to pretty much shock the Nomu and put a little hole through it. It regenerates at this point, but it's kind of vulnerable right now. So Deku, he's rushing up. He starts using critical and vital strike to do damage to it, but it's not really doing much. He's starting to move up the body, up onto the head. He starts stabbing into the neck. Blood's coming out everywhere. He's using it's getting paralyzed and stuff because it can't resist right now. It's kind of regenerating. It's getting paralyzed, so it's regenerating. Regeneration is kind of getting stopped. But yeah. Then, eventually he gets to the, he stabs it in the side of the head. And, the Nomu kind of just, its eyes roll over. And, it kind of just dies right then and there. With a bunch of stab wounds and some semi-healed, some not. Yeah, it falls to the ground. And, then Deku's finally, I got it. And, he falls to the ground. It's 100% fatigue. And then, pretty much, this is when All Might comes in, I am here. And, he's looking around. He sees Izuku on the ground, Aizawa on the ground, bunch of villains on the ground. 2 shadows kind of standing up beside Izuku and the dead body. He's just confused, so he rushes down to Aizawa because pretty much the shadows are picking up Izuku and pretty much bringing him upstairs. And he gets Aizawa, helps him up. Not really helps him up, but picks him up. And he's like, damn it. So, the police are on scene. Ambulances, they take Aizawa and Izuku and some other injured students to the hospital. Recovery girls there, pretty much kissing pretty much all of them. She kisses Izuku and pretty much, the only thing he got rid of was pretty much his fatigue. He really didn't have any major injuries. But yeah. I'm saying a few hours later he wakes up. His mom's like, Izuku, you finally wake up. And he's like, oh, hey mom. And some other students were there. And oh, Izuku, you're okay. That's good. And he's like, oh, hey guys. But yeah. So, that's pretty much the USJ over, I guess, but yeah. And pretty much as soon as they leave, he says so what's this? And it says quest complete. Alright, revive or get a total of 80 shadows or something. It has a key. He opens it up and it has a key. You're like, A rank dungeon, huh? Sorry. But yeah. He's like, I'll do that tomorrow. I need to rest for a little bit. So, the next day he's kind of released from hospital. Because he didn't really have any major injuries. So he goes back to the dorms and everyone's kind of like, hey Izuku. Just kind of being kind of happy, I guess. Trying to think about the USJ. But yeah. And, Izuku says, I just came back to just be here for a little bit. I just gotta go do something. I'm gonna say some of the students notice that he goes somewhere quite a lot. Just doing dungeons and stuff. Doing a few demon floors. Some demon tower floors. So I'm gonna say he's on level 60 now or something. But yeah. So, you know, like, and like, they decide to follow him, so it's pretty much, her, C, Todoroki, Froppy, and Murmur, because they're the most observant, I guess. Because why not? But, you know, they see him go into, like, a big open field, I guess. You know, a key appears in his hand. He pretty much puts it in the air and turns it. And then, you know, a gate opens up. They're like, what the hell? He just opened up a gate. Then, you know, they see him walk in it. Like, what the hell? We gotta look at this. So they follow him in. And then, you know, he sees the high ogres. And, you know, he starts to, you know, destroy them using his shadows. Some of the lower rank ones are getting destroyed, but like the Nomu, Tank, and Icarus are pretty much just taking care of them all easily. Like some of the other ones have been leveled up pretty high as well. Yeah, you know, they're just watching. The other people just watching, like, what the hell? And then, you know, once it's over, like, I'm gonna say one of them's like, he starts walking forward a little bit. Like, he's walking through everything. And then he hears, like, a snap. He looks behind him. Like, what? And, you know, like, he sees all of them, like, just standing there. And he's like, wait, what are you guys doing here? And they're like, He says, get out, now. And he's kind of, like, looking at them. He's, like, walking towards them, like, what are you guys doing here? Just get out. And, like, why did you do this? Like, why did you open up the gate? And he says, He kind of just, like, grabs, like, the bridge of his nose, like, And then he just says, I'll explain to you after I finish this. Just get out. So now, like, he kind of pushes them out. But, like, they hit, like, an invisible barrier. And, you know, one of the high orcs that he destroyed kind of gets back up. And he says, you human, come to my throne room. You know, then the body kind of just falls back down. And he's like, damn it. Looks like I have to defeat the boss first. He says, fine, come with me, but just stay close. And, you know, they say, okay. So, you know, they're walking through. He's killing high ogres a lot. You know, he's resurrected a few of them. I'm gonna say he can save about 100, so he has about 91 he's saved right now. Because, you know, I'm gonna say he saved pretty much. Actually, no, I'm gonna say he had like 70 saved, and now he only has about like 81 saved now. But yeah, so he eventually gets to the throne room. He sees like the big one. He says, looks like you finally made it, you human. He says, oh, looks like I found the boss. And, you know, the 5 people there, like, thinking, like, okay, we can take this down. We just need to attack all at once. Yeah. You see, you know, they're kind of making a plan behind Izuku's back. And, you know, Izuku's talking to the dude, and the guy's like, well, I'm just gonna call him Tusk. You know, the Tusk's like, so, it's your army versus mine, huh? And Izuku says, seems like it. But I'm gonna kill you. And, you know, this is when, like, Todoroki, Momo, Froppy, and, you know, C attack. And, you know, the guy just says protection spell, because I can't say that HYMN thing. But yeah, you know, he says protection him. I don't know what that means, or says. You know, it's like, damn, what are you guys doing? You know, they get sent back. You know, they hit their heads on the ground or something, you know, their backs, so they kind of injured a little bit. It's like, damn it, you idiots. Just stay here, I'll deal with you later. So, you know, he summons his shadows, pretty much his army, I guess. You know, they start attacking. And, you know, Yoga starts laughing after like 30 minutes. And he says, looks like your army's being destroyed by mine. Then Azuki kind of smirks and says, really? Says, look at them. My army can regenerate as long as I have mana. Yours can't. And he's looking down, he's seeing like shadows getting cut, but like they're just regenerating, and, you know, cutting back the ogres, but and then just dying. You know, Azuki says, I really didn't want to fill up on mana potions, but looks like I'll have to. You know, he drinks a big one, gets his mana refilled, and the dude's like, damn it. You know, he sends his big guards, I guess, to help the other ones. Tusk, well, not Tusk, the Nomu, Icarus, Tank, and another one. Well, yeah, just deal with them. But yeah. I'm pretty sure he had another one, but I just can't remember. Oh yeah, that's right, never mind. Anyway. So, you know, they pretty much destroy the other ones, you know. Deku has set up, like, a row, some of them, before. Like, he's got the 3 generals, because one's stuck in the roof, you know, some of the, just, warriors. You know, the guy says, damn it. Like, fire Drake spell. You know, sends a giant fire blast. Deku dodges, you know. Comes up, you know, tries to stab him. He says protection spell. You know, stab. He gets sent, like, back because he got protection, I guess. But yeah. Damn, I can't remember how they actually defeated him. But yeah, anyway, sorry, whatever. Guess I'll just have to make it up my own. So he says, like, damn it, okay, like, he sends, like, pretty much all of his forces just to attack the big guy all at once, you know, including him. You know, he's getting rid of some of them, but they're just regenerating. Azuki drink another mana potion. Whoops. And, you know, like, they're eventually getting to, you know, the Nomu, the Nomu just has regeneration by itself, so Azuki doesn't really need to use his mana on that one. Icarus, Tank, and damn, I'm really sure there's supposed to be another one. Anyway. So now he's pretty much attacking them. And eventually, like, they overrun him, you know, like, the Nomu's, like, pretty much, like, getting through his defense. Same with Icarus, and with, like, some of the other light troops. You know, they eventually get to him, you know, Azuki gets through as well. You know, they start, like, killing him and stuff. He's like, how did I fall to you, like, you puny human? You know, he's dead now. And Azuki says, like, finally, arise. And, you know, big guy comes out. And, you know, he says, what should I name you? And he says, okay then, Tusk. You know, he kind of just bows to him, and, you know, they all go back into his shadow. You know, some of the 4 people that, like, went in with him, that just followed him, were like, what the hell? What are you? Like, he just took that, an A-rank dungeon all by himself. You know, he just gets out, like, a few of his light soldiers just to pick them up and get them out. And he brings them to a hospital. They get healed and stuff. But yeah. You know, Deku has, like, a little, you know, he rests for a few days and stuff. He used to be doing normal schoolwork. the students just keep what they saw a secret, I guess. Deku says, okay, I finally did it. I finally have trained enough, I guess. He says, okay, time to go back in there. So, pretty much he goes back into the demon tower. He's floor 60. So, he splits them into teams. Of like 4 or something. I can't remember the one with Tusk, one with Tank, one with Icarus, and one with the Nomu. So they're going through and stuff. So like Team Icarus gets taken down. Then it's the Frostbear, and he's like, okay, looks like so they're getting taken down. And they went for the weakest ones first. Okay, that means that the Nomu's next. So he goes to the Nomu and he sees like they're getting kind of like his team's getting kind of destroyed. He steps in, like he starts like destroying the demon knights. Like going in for them. Like killing some of them. And then like the final one's like, hey, I give up. She takes off her helmet like, I give up. It's like, fine then. She decides, he turns his back. He looks down at the thing. He's like, what a waste of meat, I guess. I don't know. It's like, intelligent demons. Interesting. She pulls out her dagger and tries to stab Izuku in the back. He just uses Dominator's hand to, I guess at the second level now. He just uses Dominator's hand to, grab the dagger, and he says, trying to stab me in the back, huh? What a cowardice move. And she says, I'm sorry. I can help you. And Deku says, do you know, please don't hurt me. He says, do you know where the, scroll for the next level is? He says, yes, but that's my family's sacred treasure. And, he's like, I need it to get to the next level. And she says, fine, I can take you here, but I can take you there, but I'm not sure what will happen. But so she takes him to the big ass castle. He's like, a castle in a castle. Interesting. But so he walks in, and the king says, what are you doing? I'm pretty sure her name was like Isol or something. I can't remember. What are you doing, Isol? You're bringing a man with his army? She's like, what do you mean, father? He says, can't you see his army? As he kind of chuckles like, I'm not here to attack you. I just want your scroll to the next level. He's like, okay, fine, but just get out of here. He says, but I also need one more thing. I need a guide. He's like, who do you want? He puts his arm around her shoulder and says, her. I need your daughter. He's like, you kind of got like that angry father vibe right now. And Izuku feels like he did something wrong, like, what did I do wrong? He says, fine. He says, but first let's have a feast. They eat their stuff, but then Deku says, okay, time to go. She's like, oh, okay. And Richie says, Isol has joined your party. It's like, all party members will gain experience, will share experience. Like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, So, they're going through the levels, killing things and stuff, getting rid of the other clans. Like one level, she says, like, Mizuki, please, you gotta be careful, that's like one of the strongest clans. He says, don't worry, I'll be fine. He walks in, 20 minutes later, he walks out, the place is on fire. He says, they're done. Got the scroll as well. But, and eventually, they get to floor 99. He got the scroll and stuff. He's like, okay, you can go back now. I don't need you anymore. She's like, huh? What? You don't need me anymore? He's like, yeah, I just needed a guide, that's all. She's like, but I thought, can't I watch you? He's like, okay then, but don't get in my way, just stay back. Then, he goes to the next level 100. And, he defeats a few of the little demons. He's collected all the souls and stuff. And, but then, the Demon King comes down on, his wyvern, Drake, I'm not sure. And, Deku, he's like, he rushes at the Demon King. And he tries to, stab him, but he just pretty much hits him away. He's like, damn it. I'm pretty sure he's like level 100 at no, he's probably like level 90 something. So his stats are pretty high, but he sort of just got slapped away. But yeah, so I say that a lot. So he starts summoning his shadows to fight him. But so and he's getting the ice elves to try and shoot down the wyvern, because he's flying in the air. It's hitting, but not affecting him much. So pretty much he's pretty much awesome to get it down any way possible. So the Nomu jumps up, same with what's it? Fuck, I just forgot the Red Knight's name. Icarus, yeah, there we go. Same with Icarus, Nomu pretty much grabs the thing's head and puts it down. Icarus cuts off its wing. So pretty much crashes it straight into the ground, dead. The Demon King's he's kind of smiling. He gets up from kind of the crater, I guess, left in the ground. He rushes at Izuku, punching him. Swinging it, punching him. He gets sent back a lot. Izuku's getting up out of rubble and stuff. He gets all of his forces to attack the Demon King. He's taking care of them with pretty much ease and stuff. Except for the big ones and stuff. Oh yeah, Tusk has got that orb as well. I forgot to mention that. So the little orbs. He's sending spells and stuff. Fire Drake. Actually, no, he hasn't been sending spells yet. He's okay. He's just pretty much using his stuff to all of his men to pretty much distract them. He says, okay, Tusk, use this and get pretty much destroy the thing. Pretty much destroy him. He nods his head. And he's using Fire Drake, I don't know. And he sends it Demon King. And it pretty much kills him instantly, because it's 100% on magic boost. Bruh, it is overpowered as fuck. But yeah. So, like, they kill the Demon King. It says, quest complete, kill Demon King, collect 10,000, 1,000 demon souls, and, yeah, quest complete, claim your rewards. The loot he got, the Demon King's daggers, Shadow Monarch ring, I'm pretty sure it's called, or something else, I'm not sure, Demon King's sword, and Shadow Exchange rune. It's like, what's this? Switch places with any one of your shadows every 3 hours. He's like, seems good. But yeah, so he crushes that. And he claims his rewards. I'm pretty sure it was like a key, some money, and I don't know, something else. I can't exactly remember. But then he walks over to the soon-to-be KCL. He's like, okay then. Arise. The giant wyvern, or Drake or something, comes up. He's like, I'll name you KCL. But yeah, they say, okay, time to go back now. She's like, just like to ECL or something. I don't know. She's like, oh, but I want to. Oh, okay then. So, they teleport back to the 75th floor, and they get that stuff done, and Deku comes out, and yeah. Damn it! I want to do the sports festival. Actually, I am gonna do the sports festival. I'm just gonna end this. I'm just gonna pause this part for now, go to school, come back and record the sports festival, and then put it into this. So, see ya. Back. Sorry for the pause, I guess. But yeah. Or maybe it's not even a pause. I don't know. But anyway. So, I ended off. Deku defeated the Demon Tower. And he went home. But yeah, so. Deku comes home. Not really comes home, but he goes to the dorms. And he's kind of tired a little bit. He's kind of, I don't know, exhausted. Yeah, that's probably better. And he's walking kind of just I want to sleep. And he's walking, and I'm gonna say Kirishima says hey, Mito bro, you want to hang out? He says, no, please no. And he says, but someone wants to fight you. He's like, fine. So, he follows him. And, it's, Oraka, because I'm gonna say why not. She's a little more ballsy, I guess. But, so she just wanted to fight him because she thought, if she can just get one touch in, she can defeat him. But, yeah. So, and he's like, Oraka, why do you want to fight me? She's like, because I think I can beat you. I have a plan, he says. She says, and he says, fine. And she says, and none of those shadow things, what Denki said. And he says, fine. So, Deku, well, someone says start. Oraka runs at him. He's like, trying to go head on, huh? She has her hands out. And pretty much what Deku does. Wait, I haven't thought of this part. So, Deku just sidesteps her. She kind of goes running forwards. He trips her. Makes her go face first. Some people think what? That's poor sportsmanship. She gets up So, she runs at it. She runs at him again. All she's trying to do is just get a touch on him. He says, this is pointless. Why do you keep on continuing to do this? She just says, all I need is one touch. And Deku says, whatever. He just says, enough of this. Pretty much, this time when she comes running at him, he just stands there and just gets out the Demon King sword and pretty much points it at her throat while using Dominator's hand, stop her so it actually doesn't pierce her throat. And he says, "Fine, are you okay?" He says, do you admit defeat? And she's like, yes. It's like, thank God. And, Deku gets the rune of gravity control. Pretty much what he can do with this, he can control the gravity of things, make them lighter, make them heavier, pretty much crush someone with gravity kind of stuff. Even do what pain can do, planetary devastation. I'm just kidding. Nah, I won't give him that. That's just too overpowered. Or is it? No, it's just too overpowered. But yeah, sorry. I stole it for a little bit, so he gets that power. He's like, And he crushes the stone and says, this could be useful. So he kind of looks at a little, I don't know, rock on the ground, he pulls his hand up. It kind of just stays there floating. It's like, interesting. He pushes it down and, it pretty much cracks the whole arena, little area that they were fighting. It's like, yep, this is useful. He just walks away. I was kind of like, what did he just do? But yeah. I just decided to give him another power because I was thinking about it. Because why not? But yeah. Anyway. So, everyone just went back, he went to sleep just because he was so exhausted from doing the, killing the Demon King. But yeah. So, the next day, actually no, the day before the sports festival, as I was just, okay everyone, we're going to be doing something that we're going to be re-ranking you, I guess, would be the proper way to say it, I guess. He says, we're just going to re-evaluate your ranks, see if you've gotten any stronger from your experiences. And we're like, oh yeah, that's going to be so cool. Baku's like, I'm going to be the highest rank out of everyone. Which in reality, he's pretty much going to be a medium rank, A rank, I guess. But yeah. So, they go to that big ball looking thing. Everyone, I'm gonna say, quite a lot of people do it. Pretty much everyone. People like Bakugo, Todoroki, and, C, because that's what I'm calling her. And let's say, they get A rank. Her C and Todoroki are, high A rank. And, Bakugo's medium. Kaminari, Kirishima, I don't really care. They get B rank, whatever. Ida as well. But yeah. Last but not least, it's Izuku's turn. Everyone's kind of like, I wonder what his rank is. He said he's at E rank, but he's clearly not. And I'm gonna say they have to focus really hard to get the most magical power out of it. Close their eyes, squint, put as much, put both hands on the thing to get as high as they can. And but what Deku does, he simply just puts a bit of his finger on it, and it says and I must say, for you to be classified as an S rank hero, you have to have over 5,000 magic points and 2,500 above for A rank, 100 above for B rank, 500 for C rank, and 250 for D rank, and 100 for E rank. And anything lower is also E rank. But yeah. Actually, anything lower than 100 points, you pretty much consider not to have magic. But yeah. So he touches it, and it pretty much says error. And it's also huh? And he taps it a few times. It's what? What does it mean, error? And the student's head is like, what? Error? And Aizawa says, okay then, well, apparently Izuku Midoriya is an S rank. Everyone's like, what? Including Bakugo. Bakugo rushes at him. And, Aizawa, he's attempting to stop Bakugo. What Deku does, he just puts his hand down, using his new gravity skill, and pretty much crushes Bakugo onto the floor. He walks over and says, are you gonna stop? Bakugo's like, Izuku! You were looking down on me this whole time! And Izuku just kind of stone-faced, I wasn't. I just trained. I thought I was weak, but I was strong. Unlike you, thinking you're always strong, but are in fact weak. And Deku just kind of leaves the room. That's when Baku's kind of gets back up and breathe again, I guess. He's like, damn that nerd. But yeah, so next day, sports festival. They're going on the bus, in UA uniform, the sports one anyway. C's sitting beside Deku. She's looking at him not looking at eye contact, but just at him. Cause yeah, bird. And I'm gonna just say, cause I really don't know how to do this. Deku says, kind of sighs and just looks over at her and says, fine, if you win, I'll tell you how. Actually, no, never mind, actually, if you win, I'll tell you why I probably don't smell to you, but if I win, you go on a date with me. And she's like, because I don't know. And, he just says, I'll take that as a yes. Just looks back. And she kind of got her hands over her face, oh my god, what the hell just happened? Anyway, yeah, sorry. But yeah. So, they're waiting in the rating room, class 1B, class 1C, can you come out, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna give a certain member of class 1C, or maybe, I'm gonna move him up to 1B, a big kind of boost. But yeah. Anyway. So, and then eventually, can class 1A come out? They come out, and Midnight says, can Izuku Midoriya please come up to the stand and deliver a speech? And, he just comes up and says, there's no point in me lying to you. I'm gonna win. And just walks away. Everyone's going whoa, boo, boo. He didn't say anything good. And Midnight's like, what a great, lovely speech. Now, onto the first round. She spins the wheel. Obstacle course. Students will have to do this, and that. Can you please all line up at the front gate? But yeah. So, they're all lining up. Izuku's just standing there. He doesn't really care. And it says, go, go, go. And pretty much, all the speed types, I guess, Ida, Kaminari, because I gave him boost. Bakugo, because he can use explosions on, his feet and, his hands. And pretty much what, he's not wearing shoes, he's pretty much just his bare feet. But yeah. They're pretty much, in the lead for a little bit. Bakugo's saying, that nerd doesn't have anything on me in speed. And pretty much as he thinks that, there's, pretty much a sonic boom behind him. Izuku's pretty much rushed, past him. He pulls out Demon King's sword. because I actually like that. I don't know why he didn't use it, but yeah. Or why he doesn't really use it much, but yeah. He like pretty much he's cut the robots in half, like down the center, like vertically down the center. Like in the booth, like President Mike's like, "What the hell, Mr. Aizawa? What student was that?" Like, "Mr. Aizawa, what student was that?" I don't know, man. But yeah, so Aizawa's like, "Oh, that's one of my students actually, S rank, Izuku Midoriya." President Mike's like, "What? S rank?" It's like, yes, he's an S rank, and for a good reason. And President Mike's like, "Well, looks like we have a big hero here. S rank Izuku Midoriya currently in first." And everyone's like cheering, like, "Woo, yeah! Wait, isn't that the guy that gave the horrible speech? Woo, yeah!" But yeah, anyway, sorry. He's pretty much just blitzing through everything. The little gap. He's pretty much just jumped like over it, I guess. He got that strength and speed. Minefield. What could he do for the minefield? I could easily just make him like run so fast that the mines blow up behind him, but that's not fun. And whatever, I can't think of anything that's not involving the shadows, because I have a little plan later. But yeah. And he pretty much just like runs through him. He's so fast the mines explode behind him. But yeah. So yeah, Izuku Midoriya first place with 1 million points. But that's kind of that race over. Bako comes second. I'm gonna say Kaminari actually comes third. Then Todoroki, because I like Kaminari. He's a cool dude. He kind of chill. I feel like he'd be a pretty cool friend to have. But yeah. Anyway, sorry. And like when they're like waiting outside, when like the little thing that comes out, like, okay, first place Izuku Midoriya with 1 million points. Everyone looks over at him. Kind of giving like off their tiny little bits of bloodlust, like minuscule compared to like Stain or Izuku. Like Stain and All For Ones are minuscule compared to Deku. I'm just kidding. Doesn't really matter. Izuku's more of a skill. Theirs is kind of earned. Yeah. Anyway, they're kind of displaying their tiny little bits of bloodlust. And Deku looks at them, activating bloodlust and a little bit of his gravitational control, I guess. Their feet are kind of digging into the ground, and like they feel fear now. Some of them collapse a little bit, like can't breathe. And then he just stops. Everyone's like, okay, don't mess with him. Mine was thinking like, if I can get my hands on this quirk, then I can win. I'm saying like when they get to pick teams, Shinsei walks up to him and says, "Hey, you want to be on my team?" He says, "No." Shinsei's like, got him. And then just for a little second, and then like it says, quirk nullified, harmful thing detected in system, I guess. Izuku says, "Yeah, that wasn't very smart." He just walks away, and it's like, and Shinsei's like, "Huh? What?" And pretty much the boost I was giving was to Shinsei. He pretty much has summons. He can sense a lot, but he can still read minds. But he doesn't really have any physical attacks. Physical body attacks. Like he can't punch hard. He can't do anything really. But yeah. But yeah, anyway. So the things start like people on Deku's team are, I don't know, I'm gonna say Kaminari, Tokiyami and I don't know, Froppy. Why not? I don't know. No, she's on. Never mind. One random person, doesn't really matter. That ain't gonna be in the fights. But yeah. Sorry. Wait. Anyway, alright. Sorry for the pause. My mom came home, so I had to say hello. Anyway, so I left off. They started the cavalry battle. So it's Tokiyami, Uraka. I'm having to go. I have to think about it again. And some random person, doesn't matter. Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, anyway, it's May, sure, yeah. So, they're, like, he's like a horse, I'm gonna say Uraka is the rider, I guess, why not? But yeah. Actually, no, it's not May, it's just, C, because, she has to get into the thing somehow. But yeah, so, he's the horse, Uraka's the rider. Because head quack can't really be used for offensive capabilities quite well. I don't know, whatever. So, they're running around, pretty much. Deku's using Dominator's Hand, or, gravity control, bloodlust, I guess, even. Just pretty much keep enemies away. Like, if a whole team comes running over, he pretty much just, forces them onto the ground. Any way he wants, I guess. But yeah. So, he's just going around. They're pretty much just doing that. Even, Tokiyami's doing some stuff. She's just, using her blades to, pretty much, slice people up a little bit. Not cut off their arms or anything. Or legs. But I guess she could do that, because I gave Recovery Girl a boost as well. Being able to regenerate limbs. Even All Might would be healed. But yeah. Yeah, anyway. So that pretty much just continues on for the whole cavalry battle. I really can't do much. They just pretty much do that for the whole thing. But yeah. But anyway, now on to the first fight. So, it's Deku vs Shinso. Shinso's up there, he kind of starts chuckling a little bit, well, since you're immune to my mind control, I guess I should use my trump card. He says, come out my army. And, 10 little, 10 kind of big creatures, I guess, pretty much the size of the Nomu come out. And, I'm gonna say Shinso's been secretly training with Aizawa for this, just, so he can beat anyone. He says, this is my army that's going to defeat you. And Deku, he kind of just starts chuckling, turns into, a big laugh. He kind of just starts rolling on the ground, laughing, just and then, he gets up, wiping a tear from his eye, you call that an army? Then, pretty much his shadow expands, all of his soldiers come out, all of his knights, Icarus, the Nomu, tank, his things, some of the high orcs, Tusk, and he's just standing on Casio, the wyvern, and he kind of goes serious again. This is an army. Shinso gulps, and all the heroes what, he can do that? And they kind of start writing them down recommendation is Midoriya. The demon king's sword kind of appears in his hand and he points it forward. And, all of them rush, I'm gonna just say that, Nomu rushes at, at Shinso's things. One of them, gets in the way, say he was about to punch Shinso. And it pretty much just, goes through the thing, pretty much destroying it. And Shinso's what? One of his things is just that powerful? What the hell? So, he's pretty much just going through them so easily, just punching him and stuff. Like, this is just a Nomu. And then finally gets to Shinso, and she's just like, what? This isn't like class 1A. You know, it pretty much just punches Shinso and sends him into a wall. Kind of like a Shinso-shaped hole in it now. But yeah, you know, even like the hair made a hole. That's how hard you punched him. But yeah. Anyway, and that's like, after that display of power, winner, Zuko Midoriya. Yeah, so everyone else fights continue. They know it's Azuku versus Todoroki. And Todoroki's like, edgy emo boy, I will defeat you, my daddy issues. Sorry for Todoroki fans. I quite like him myself. But it's just him during the sports festival is just it was funny. But yeah, anyway, sorry. And Todoroki's like, I'm gonna defeat you, Izuku. I'm gonna prove that I don't need my fire. And, you know, a little quest pops up with and it says defeat Shoto Todoroki, or otherwise your heart will stop. And Deku's like, ah. But yeah, so, you know, and Midnight says start. You know, Todoroki sends a giant ice glacier at him, like one that he did to Sero, because he ain't underestimating Deku. Well, he is, but like he thinks this is like enough. And what Deku did, he got the Demon King's daggers and pretty much like just started slicing through him, like slicing through the ice. You know, he eventually gets out and says, think that can get rid of me? Me, Kono Dioda. I'm just kidding. No, I don't. Anyway. So, you know, he comes out. You know, he's not even breathing hard or anything. He just kind of gets out, walks out, and just kind of dusts off his shoulders. Then, you know, he blitzes Todoroki. Pretty much like, you know, pretty much start cutting up Todoroki's arms and legs. Well, I'm gonna say he starts cutting up his left side. Pretty much like, you know, like cutting up his arms and legs, putting in pretty deep cuts, but nothing that'll leave a scar or like do any real damage. Just something to do damage now. Then, you know, Todoroki kind of like falls like onto his knee a little bit. He's like, ah. You know, he's trying to use this ice, but it's just too painful. He's like, damn it, I have to use this. I have to use this side. And Azuka says, so we'll use your fire now that you can't use your ice? And Shoto's like, I will never use this quirk. And, you know, he kind of looks around, you know, he sees Endeavor. He's like, oh, that's why. You know, like, he kind of says, well, is your quirk called Hellflame? Shoto's like, huh? He says, is your quirk called Hellflame? No, it's called half hot, half cold. He says, exactly. It's not his quirk, it's yours. So why don't you fight me? Like it is your quirk. Oh, that's kind of cheesy. You know, Shoto kind of like, it clicks in his head. He's like, and, you know, he smiles and says, thanks, Midoriya. Thanks for helping me realize. And then he kind of starts, like, you know, his left hand kind of starts glowing a little bit. You know, Deku says, you're welcome. And pretty much disappears, like, kind of blurs. You know, now he's behind Todoroki. He chops him in the neck, knocking him out. And, you know, I mean, it's like, Izuku Midoriya wins. And he kind of just picks Todoroki up by, like, one hand. Then he starts spinning him on his finger. I'm just kidding. No. No, he just kind of just picks him up and, you know, brings him to Recovery Girl and says, you might need to heal him. He says, no kidding. Like, this kid's gonna kill me. And Azuka walks back out, and everyone's like, wow, that was so cool, like, you helped Todoroki, you're so thoughtful, I don't know, whatever. Sorry about that. But yeah, now it's, everyone else's fights continue, I guess. C's, pretty much climbing up. And I'm gonna change things, so she took place of May swaps with, Kaminari. So, I don't know really how, but it's just gonna be the final round. But yeah, so it's now Ida versus Izuku. And Ida's like, I will beat you. And Izuku says, okay then. Cool. It says start. He instantly uses Reciprocal Burst, I think. He starts trying to rush at him. And it looks like a kind of blur to everyone else. It just looks like slow motion to Deku. As Ida goes for a kick, he pretty much moves his head forward, just dodging it. Ida gets back onto the ground, tries to sweep for the legs. Deku just jumps up a little bit. He gets back up. He goes for a side kick. Deku just steps back a little bit. And Ida thinks what? He's dodging. And I'm almost out, and I'm almost finished. It's almost cooled off. I know it's whatever. And whoops. And he's trying, and eventually Reciprocal Burst ends. He's kind of, it's and Tsuku's so what was that about you beating me? Ida's I'm not done yet. And he goes for another I would say roundhouse kick. Deku just pretty much stops it with his hand. Says, well, yeah, I had a good try. And pretty much he just uses the gravitational quirk to pretty much just you crush Ida pretty much. He goes slamming into the ground. I just says, well, that was great. But yeah, he just walks out. So it's time for C's and Bakugo's fight. And he, Bakugo's I will beat you so I can fight the nerd and prove I'm stronger than him. He says, well, I gotta beat him for another reason. Kind of regret saying what I said, but anyway. So, their fight starts. Bakugo instantly just rushes, using explosions on his feet and hands, and instantly tries to rush her. He tries to get behind her, and, he pretty much tries to come down with, a howitzer impact. And I'm gonna say, she has, superhuman strength along with the, sword. So, she moves out of the way pretty fast. He hits the ground just a big crater. This is when she rushes at him with the sword, and pretty much slicing him up a little bit. But Bakugo's courage and perseverance, I guess. He gets back up, kind of bleeding a little bit, a lot actually. There's a little pool of blood. He gets back up and says, "I will not let you beat me." He rushes again. Pretty much for a frontal attack this time, so she can't really dodge. So he rushes, and he throws a kick. Pretty much it's boosted by an explosion. It hits her in the side. She kind of slides a little bit. She's kind of holding her side because I ain't gonna make this just a one-sided fight. I kind of gotta do this a little properly, I guess. It's kind of hard to make things fair when your character is literally made to be overpowered. But yeah, so this is how I can make it fair. And, she gets back up and rushes forward, like trying to, like she kind of has her sword kind of like just beside her, kind of facing forwards. Like when she rushes by, she kind of cuts him in the side, like a deep cut, pretty much like really a lot, I guess. Kind of like into his stomach a little bit, but not really. I don't know, whatever. It's a pretty really deep cut. She rushes by him and says, "If you weren't, my attack was supposed to just injure you too a lot, so I wouldn't have to harm you a lot, but you forced me to do this." Buck's like holding his sides, kind of falling down, holding it like, my what would it be called? My side. He's like on the ground, the recovery girl instantly comes out, and, she pretty much just kisses him on the spot. Pretty much just like getting rid of the major damage. Midnight said, her name wins. Now it's on to the final battle. Azuku Midoriya versus Steve. But yeah. So then she says, why don't we make this a fair battle? None of your shadows and none of your skills, just a simple sword fight. And he kind of smiles a little and says, okay then. And he pulls out the Demon King sword. And he says, let's start. It's kind of midnight to start. She kind of rushes at him. Deku rushes as well. Their swords kind of collide. And, they push each other back. Kind of like having to like pick, I don't know, whatever. They push each other back. Deku kind of rushes in, tries to go for a side swipe. She pretty much just blocks it. But, she gets sent back, like slides a little bit because, Azuku's just strong as hell. Anyway. That was like as strong as hell anyway. Sorry. So she slides a little bit, but then like she gets back. She kind of gets up. Rushes at Azuku, like trying to get him. Because she has no reason to hold back. He is the strongest in the class. He's an S rank already. Like he's just a kid, like just in first year. But yeah. So actually I might just bump them down a little bit, like Baku is a B rank and she and Todoroki are like a low kind of A rank. He's a high A rank. I mean S rank, I'm gonna say All Might has a total of 10,000 something magic points. He has like 9,800 or something. He's getting there, kind of really close. But yeah. So yeah. She rushes trying to attack him. He quickly dodges, like barely, because I'm gonna say she quite fast. Azuku kind of underestimated a little bit, but now he won't. So like he dodges just barely. And what he does, while she did that, he pretty much hit her in the back with the hilt of the sword. Pretty much hitting her into the ground. Putting the sword to the back of her neck, and he says, admit defeat. But what she does, she quickly rolls, hits Azuka's sword back with hers, quickly gets up and, puts her blade to his neck. She says, I don't think I will. And Deku says, so you didn't realize that might have happened. And pretty much what Deku does to escape, he does so fast that he pretty much like sonic booms. I don't know, not really. No, he ain't that fast. He just pretty much blurs out in front of her. Pretty much put his forearm against her neck, pushing her down onto the floor without, so she can't move. Like getting her hands behind her back, and pretty much holding her on spot. And he says, admit defeat. she says, fine. He lets her go. She gets back up. He's like, damn it. They go back, into the thing, into, the waiting area. He walks up and says, well, looks like you owe me a date. I don't know, man. She says, yes, I do. And she's kind of happy. And he says, well, I'll tell you anyway, even though you're lost. He says, well, I don't really just have one quirk. Well, I do, but think about it this way. Have you ever played an RPG game? And she says, I think I did once. You just level up eventually. And he says, well, yeah, I guess that's the basic gist of it, I guess. He says, well, yes, I level up, pretty much. I can infinitely get stronger. And my special skill is called Shadow Lord. I can raise the shadows of the dead. Pretty much, and they'll serve me. All my soldiers and everyone in my army I have killed. She's like, oh, I'm like, oh, I understand, that kind of makes sense with the ice bears and, the Noma and things. It's like, yeah, that's pretty much my secret. Don't tell it to anyone. Otherwise I'll be forced to kill you. He kind of looks at her, activating bloodlust, and she's like, yeah, sure, yeah, okay. She says, thanks, and kind of smiling. He says, Kanazuka Midoriya, her, and Bakugo Katsuki, please come up to the stand. Because, he gets first, she gets second, Bakugo gets third, he still has to be restrained. But yeah, I'm gonna end it off here. I don't know about the date, really, I'm not good with that, because anyway, whatever, see ya.